Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how to make Keynote presentations that are more dynamic than just going from slide to slide. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now typically when you make a presentation in Keynote or any presentation app, you're going to go from slide 1 to slide 2 to slide 3 and so on until you reach the end. But sometimes what you're presenting calls for something different. Sometimes you want to be able to use the same slides but in a different order, or to be able to present whatever slide comes to mind while you're talking. You can create buttons in Keynote to jump to any slide you want. So as an example here, I've got a presentation where the first slide is just a series of pictures here. Say your presentation is about the team that you're working with. And then each slide after that is about each individual member. Now you could just start on this slide and then go through each one. But in some situations you may want to start here and then jump to this slide. And then maybe go back to the picture of the team to talk about everybody and then go to this slide and so on. You want to do it in any order you want. Now you could use the navigation tools inside a Keynote to do this, but you could also build this directly into the presentation. So in this first slide here, let's take one of these image elements here, this one, and let's create a link so we go to the slide that matches this photo. So with the element selected, I'm going to go to Format and then Add a Link. And I have several options here, but the one I want to use is Add a Slide Link. Note that the keyboard shortcut is Command K. It's going to be a lot easier to use the keyboard shortcut each time. So by selecting that, I can now link to a slide and I can choose Next Slide, Previous Slide, First, Last, Last Slide Viewed, or Slide Number. I'm going to choose a slide number here and it's slide 2 that I want to go to. So I can use the drop down menu or I can simply type the number 2. Now I don't need to do anything else except click away. And you can see how now it shows me there's a link there. That won't appear while I'm presenting. Let's go to this slide here and I want a way to get back to the first slide. So what I can do here is create a button that will link back to the slide. I can do anything I want to create the button. I can have a piece of text. I could use a shape. I could use an image. That image could be something I created that looks like a really cool back button. I'm just going to do something simple. Just use an arrow here. I'm going to drag the right side to the left there to reverse the arrow and put it down here in the bottom right hand corner. And with that shape selected, I'm going to do the same thing to add a link. So I'm going to go to Format, Add Link, Slide, and then I can do various things here. One is I could say go to the first slide. What that will do is always go to the first slide. That's probably not the best thing because what if I add a title slide before this? It would go before that. Or what if this wasn't the first slide but was slide 7 and these were slides 8, 9, 10 and so on. So better to use a slide number. If I use a slide number and say go to slide 1, the great thing is that will change if I insert new slides or move slides around. So if I insert a new slide as slide 1, this would automatically change to slide 2. It'll go to the same slide. I could also simply have it go to the last slide viewed. So in other words, just go back. This works great if it's just going to go to one slide and then back to the previous slide. So I'll use that in this situation. So now that I've got a way to get to the slide and a way to get back, I'm going to go to the first slide here, play the presentation, and I only put the link on this one here. So notice how the cursor changes to a hand but only over that one picture. I click on it, it goes to this slide, and then I click on the button at the bottom right and it goes back. I can continue to add that to the other elements. So for instance, I'll select this one here. I'm going to use Command K this time and I'm going to say I want to go to Slide, and in this case it's slide 4. Then on slide 4 I want to add that same back button. I can just copy and paste for that. So I'm going to select the back button there, and actually I can add that to every slide. So I'll go to slide 3 and add it, 4, just pasting it on every slide so it's there and ready to go. So then I can add the links to all of the rest of these here, and now I can jump to this slide here, go back. I can jump to this slide here, go back, and if I've added the other 6 I can continue to move dynamically around in this presentation. So in this case I can basically talk about my team in any order I want, and that may change depending upon who I'm presenting to. There are other ways to use this as well. So I've got a presentation here and it basically just has a bunch of slides and I haven't really filled in any content. But one of the things I may want to do is here on slide 3 Sometimes I might want to take a detour and talk about something else. And that starts at slide 10. So normally if I'm doing a quick presentation I'll go through slides 1 through 9 and I'm done. But if I have more time on slide 3 I'll go on a detour and do slide 10, 11, and 12. I could set that up by going to slide 3 and creating a button here. So I'm just going to create a simple circle button. I could put text in this if I want. I can make it a different color. I can use an image. Whatever it is I want to do. I'm going to put it here at the bottom left and I'm going to use Command K and say jump to slide 10. And now that's a little button that I could use. Instead of using spacebar or clicking anywhere to go to the next slide, I can jump to slide 10. Slide 10 can have my 3 slides here. And then let's add another button. I'll just put a little rounded rectangle and put that at the bottom left and then set the link for that to go to slide. And that was slide 3. So now it'll jump back here so I can finish my thought. I could have it jump to slide 4 if I know that I'm going to be wanting to go to the next slide as soon as I'm done this one. But I'm going to assume I'm talking about something on this slide. I want to do it aside for 3 other slides and then come back to this slide. So now in my presentation I could just use the spacebar, go to slide 3 and continue to slide 4. Or I could use the spacebar, go to slide 3, and since I do have extra time I can click here. Now I can go through these slides and then when I'm done I can click this button to go back to slide 3 and continue through the presentation. So I could have a whole bunch of different asides here at the end of my presentation that I could jump to from each of these if there's time. And let me demonstrate to you also if I were to add another slide right here, 9, and then now there's a 10. This is now slide 11. If I go back here and I look at this link you could see it now says go to slide 11. So it adjusted dynamically. I don't have to worry about the numbers being fixed and what happens if I rearrange or add new slides. So these are just 2 examples of how you can use buttons in your Keynote presentation to dynamically move around in your slides. So I hope this gives you lots of ideas about how you can get the most out of using Mac Keynote. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.